pace of rate growth is slowing down. That was inevitable. We weren't going to see double-digit rate growth year after year after year. That would have been nice, but it was unrealistic. So we've all just got to tighten our belts. And as I said earlier, really, it's around looking at every single aspect of the business and the operation to make sure that we're optimising in every single area. And that's the only way we're going to continue to thrive.
I think the main one is demand. I work predominantly in the leisure industry, which is very different to the corporate world. And the demand at the moment for UK staycation seems to be a little bit erratic. And I think that's probably the market is a concern for that. And that's probably my biggest worry. In terms of work itself and stuff, is making sure data is quality and is good quantity. I think that's the key thing, and it's making sure we keep on top of that to make sure we're getting the right information at the right time to help us with the right decisions.
I think we're all expecting a tough year, and it's about balancing the customer's demand for value, controlling the costs within the business that are rising, but also still having the capacity to invest in the future.
I think there's some in the shorter term, as I mentioned before, the squeeze on personal spend and just that leisure side of hospitality, and making really compelling reasons for people to choose to go away for weekends where they don't have those big special events. I think skill-based and creating a pathway for people to enter revenue management and appealing to people to join this industry and not just see it as a job, that it is a career option. I think when I first started, 27 years ago, for then there was a very different pathway because there was lots of layers in hotels, not a lot was centralised, and actually you could move very rapidly, and we have a responsibility to create those opportunities to make sure we keep those skill bases coming in. It worries me sometimes that our industry is presented as an option if you want a job, if you don't do very well at school or something similar, and actually you can form a very successful career if you want to. It's just as viable as many other industries. So I think we need to change the mindset there as well. But that's probably a bit in the longer term, but the skill gap is definitely something we're highly focused on in creating succession planning.
Probably no different to the last couple of years, where very much external issues with political situations around the world affects international markets a lot. Last year, at least we don't have that this year, there was I think about 65 different elections around the world, which does impact travel, but you didn't see the same trends like with the US election that you would see normally, where people don't travel. A lot of US still did travel, but just not around the November window. But definitely some of the political situations which can impact travel. The other thing would be sort of the visa issue coming into the UK, where the government have brought in where people need to have a visa to come in. That potentially is something that we would be concerned about, because also it's an additional cost. Plus if people put on city charges or anything like that, that would be a concern going forward. But overall, really, a lot of more sort of the external factors. New competition coming into any of the cities, I don't see that. It's not a threat, if anything. It's good for the cities. It raises the profile of the cities.
OTAs, they're starting to kind of become a little bit of a law unto themselves in terms of examples of, saying for our customers' benefit, we are going to extend all your rate plans that you've decided that you don't want to extend, but they're going to do it for you. And just, not following your strategy. So I think we've got to really stay on top of what they're doing and ensuring that they're not stealing any more from our bottom line, as much as, they obviously have to give them that commission, and they are very valuable in terms of driving sort of demand for hotels, but we need to make sure that we're only sort of utilising them to our benefit as much as to their own benefits.
Recruitment, I'd say, is the biggest one. There have been many changes, obviously brought up by COVID and Brexit here in the UK, and there are still so many hotels operation that operate in a legacy way. So finding talent to feed in from entry-level role to then growing to the next leaders is definitely a challenge, because today's talent, entry-level role, has an expectation to use technology, automation, everything is on my phone. What do you mean I need to pull and download the set of data and manually import in some way? So that's the biggest one.